Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. I'm John, Community Lead in BD at Oasis Network. Welcome to our first audio Discord AMA with our community. Joined with Ekin. Fantastic. I wasn't
Yeah,
expecting this turnout. Thank you,
for
everyone, for
sure.
spending your time with us today.
Absolutely. And I mean, to be
Ekin's
honest, this
coming
is the best way
hot.
to spend the time, right?
Yeah, this is way better than typing. This is so much
Yeah.
easier. I don't even know what to do with my hands. But
Yeah, I think you can grab a
you
cup
did.
of coffee, right?
I am. That's exactly what I'm
Hold
going
it
to
with
do. I'm going to
both
pour this
hands.
to coffee. Love it. I was going to say you're coming off hot from that amazing YouTube show that you did the other day. Congrats on that. I
Oh,
watched it
thank you,
yesterday.
thank you.
Solid.
Yeah, there
I
was
didn't
a
think
couple of tough questions there, but
I
I
know.
was happy not to. Didn't
I
freeze,
saw that
so that was
you
good.
danced one. It was a pretty good host. I mean, he didn't push you too hard on the questions that he obviously knew that you couldn't give information about, like the metaverse, like alluding to some of our upcoming partnerships and upcoming events and really exciting stuff. Thank you for not spilling the beans on some of the community things. I know it's exciting and we're going to be doing some really cool stuff, but best not to throw it on YouTube with 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, that would be a bit awkward, I think. Too much
Mhm.
alpha, you could say.
Yeah. His stage was pretty alpha. The guy's whole setup was like, whoa, CNN.
That's true. Yeah, it was like a proper news show, and they had like this thing, like a banner hanging whenever they put my face on it, and it was like there was like a whole mic check before, like 15 minutes before, and the sound audio guy was like talking to me. It was very
Yeah, he
interesting.
was real deal. Like the first thing I noticed was this guy's monotone news anchor style voice. Like he just was all about it, and he stuck to his story. So good for him. He's got a brand on it. I think that's what it's going to take. Like we can't just have moon boys and guys like me in hats and sweaters and just people being casual. Like there's a whole subset of individuals out there that are professionals. They get up in the morning, they watch the news, they look at the stock market. Like that's what they like. That makes them feel like they're a grown up.
Yes, even though sometimes you think about it, is it really like that in crypto? But there
No,
seems
and
to be
that's why it
this
was fun.
audience.
Yeah, it was funny to see, and then I was like, 300,000 subscribers. Like, geez, there's a huge audience for this. So good for him, and good for you. I thought that was a fantastic interview. For those in our audience that have not
Thanks,
heard it,
bro.
yeah, you're very welcome. I was really impressed. I wanted to be a part of it, but then I was like, you know what? This is definitely not a two-on-one type of newscast. Like he does one-on-one, more business. You were the right man for the job.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I probably would have taken it into a totally different direction than what his show's used to. I like casual laughing, like accidentally saying something I shouldn't, that everyone's like, "Oh, did you hear that?" Like that's me. I'm better suited for an environment where I can, like, I don't know, like if I go on Hot Ones one day or something like that and eat chicken wings and talk about crypto.
That's a wonderful show, to be honest.
I love that show. It's so good. I've been watching
Yeah,
it since way before it got popular, and man, has that guy made a good life for himself eating chicken wings.
yeah, yeah. But talking about hot, we got 78 people already here. This is
Yes,
the room is
yes.
getting warmer.
It's getting warm, and they didn't come to talk about chicken wings. So let's get into
Really?
our AMA. Yeah, we've got a nice giveaway too, and that's one of the amazing ways that we want to appreciate everyone for joining us. We've got a giveaway at the end, and we're just going to talk about some fun things today. Let's go over some of our topics. Oh, format. Let's do format. We're going to do 3 questions from the Ambassador Core, and then we're going to do 5 questions that came from the community. And then we're going to do 5 to 10 live questions. And to be honest, I'll probably keep going. I mean, I don't think I have another time slot for a short bit here. Actually, someone just took it. But I love taking community questions and I'll answer as many as I can. And I'm a quick speaker, faster than I type. So we'll probably get through a lot more than 5 to 10. And I can see a ton of familiar faces in this audience. So thank you so much to our loyal supporters, our bros, for being here and supporting us.
For sure. And maybe a special shout out to Sea Dog, who has a rose, one of those AI meta roses
Yeah,
as
it's
his
so
profile
crazy.
picture, or her.
I was just about to say that about someone else. I
Really?
saw Shots Fired. Yeah, I was looking at Shots Fired, and I was going to say shout out to Shots Fired for having an AI Rose profile picture. So you said the exact same thing as me. That's hilarious.
Nice,
Who
nice.
else has nice Rose NFT AI? Enigma's got one, I think. There.
Oh, I'm seeing
Z2 Bruno. Oh
Rubito.
no, that's anime, but that's cool too. But who do you got?
I'm seeing Rubito with this Oasis Punk's what is it? The Yuzu
Oh,
logo.
oh, that's Ruben. He's Yuzu's mod.
Ah, okay.
That's
I did
that's
not
why he
know.
that's why he got one because they did that partnership announcement. That's pretty sweet though. I like it, Ruben. Very well done. Marcella's here
Good
too.
stuff,
How's it
good
going,
stuff.
Marcella? Really appreciate you guys being here. I see all these red, or pardon me, pink. Um, let's call them sapphires, or yeah,
Yeah, yeah, the
rubies.
ones like after the
Well, it's
name.
it's a sapphire. Yeah, if it's not dark enough, it turns into a pink sapphire. It's not a ruby anymore. But they've boosted our server, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much for boosting our server.
I do like the gemstone knowledge that is spilling over here.
I can't turn it off. It's in there. But those AI roses, I don't know if you had a chance to look at Metamir's gallery yesterday, but we missed the sale of the year.
Yeah,
Someone sold.
insanity.
I can't believe I missed it. And I had a message from Oss3 too saying that it was going live, and it got buried in my DMs. I didn't get it until later in the day when I already found out that someone sold a Christmas edition for 2,000 rows, well below
Uh,
floor price. I was like, no, that was my chance. I'm never gonna
yep.
get that chance again. It's gone. Now they're at like 100,000.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get that chance again. I feel terrible for whoever did that. But it was funny. I was telling a friend that, and they're like, "Yeah, but there's always one guy. There's always one guy that sells way
Mm.
before they should, and he becomes the benchmark of like that guy that they show his tweets all the time that sold Bitcoin at 8 cents, making fun of people
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah. Or bought
it's
the
like
pizza.
yeah,
Yeah, the 10
things like
10,000
that.
Bitcoin pizza guy. Yeah,
There's always got to be somebody that does that so everyone else can learn from their mistakes. And so I urge everybody in here who hasn't checked out Metamir's gallery, you can use your rows. This is the first marketplace available for our NFTs. It's not going to be the last. We have CryptoPunks coming out with some really cool stuff. We've got NFTB coming out with their marketplace. Wormhole will allow you to bridge these assets. We're really stepping it up in the NFT game this week, and we're really excited with the launch of yesterday's marketplace. So if you haven't,
for
check it
sure.
out. Look at the sales. Check out that Christmas one I was talking about. There was one that sold last night for 50,000. One of the Oasis team, no 30,000. One of the Oasis
Wow.
team ones, and that's 15 grand yesterday. So that's crazy. There was another one that sold for 100,000 rows, but I think that was an insider trade. I don't buy that one. Day one, 100,000 rows. I don't buy it. That's got to be
That
someone
has to be a
farting their
pretty
own.
special one. Yeah.
It was the
And
number
but
one. I think it's the number one most rare.
okay, well that makes sense though. Somebody can buy it easily. I mean, it does make
It,
sense. This is the first set.
it is true. It is true. And people have been, I mean, we've got some huge bag holders with big amounts of rows that have been waiting for something like this. So
For sure. And I think we
I
got
don't blame them.
today's the Oasis Punk's mint, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
That's gonna
That's
happen in
another
literally
thing.
like few hours.
Okay. I gotta get
Yeah.
I gotta get ready for that.
Yeah, you gotta get your rose ready.
I
I know
just
I did
started
with
getting into
mine.
NFTs. Yeah, are you ready for it? Okay,
Oh,
I
for
gotta get
sure. I,
ready.
I'm I'm loaded up. Yeah, yeah.
I did a few things this weekend. Like I've been focused so hard on Oasis that I haven't had time to really play in the NFT world the way that a lot of my friends and family have been. And this weekend I
Hmm.
took the plunge. I went hard. What an addiction that is for the people that already know that I like gambling. Like, geez, NFTs is just another layer of ridiculousness with these reveals and minting. Oh, I just can't get enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It is a rabbit hole. Did
it's
you
such
try
a rabbit hole.
Decentraland by any chance? Or like any of
Yeah,
those metaverse
Sandbox,
games?
Decentraland. Yeah, I haven't. Like, I've been getting into utility NFTs because AI
Mm.
Rose, for our audience members here, we have 98 now. I'll give you a little Easter egg. We're working hard with Auth3 to get some utility into these AI roses. And for those that have them, it's going to become an asset worth keeping. If you look at some of the other utility NFTs on the market where, they don't want to just be an art picture or a value or an ownership on the blockchain collectible. They want to have utilitarian purpose. They want to have discounts for other things. They want to have future upcoming airdrops from other teams capturing community support by dropping them to existing NFT holders of the same network, hinting towards that. There's also other discounts that you might get from partnerships that we have. Genetica's come up, Nebula's come up. These are things that, maybe you'll be able to get a genetic testing kit for 20% off. These are things, don't quote me on that. That's an idea. It came out. But these are things that we're trying really hard to add, because not only do we add data tokenization, which is the next evolution beyond utility, that's like using your NFTs for proper world use with data. But with the AI roses, we're trying to make these things like a hot pass. Like, this is not only a gift to our community, our early supporters, our ambassadors. This is something that we want to continue to grow value with and push the envelope of what we're doing with off-chain private data, and then teaming up with some teams that are using public on-chain data. So this is, we're going to push the envelope. We've got Parcel, we've got Don Song. Teams come to us, they want to explore how to push the envelope with NFTs, and the AI Rose NFT holders are just at the top of the, I'm not even going to call it a shape. Let's just say you're at the pinnacle of the forefront of recognition that these are the people that we should include. So just a little hint there towards, utility NFTs, but that's kind of what I've been focusing on. I've been getting in on the ones that, for those that watched the ecosystem podcast that I hosted, we talked about team, we talked about market, we talked about product, right? And so I'm looking deep at the teams of these NFTs, like who's backing them, what studios, where are they going in the marketplace, and what's their product? Like, what are they proposing that they're going to build? What type of metaverse? Is it a path into this metaverse? Do they actually have enough behind them to make this a reality, or is this just kind of a luring mechanism with some fancy art? So that's my thesis right now on NFTs. Like, I'm kind of being careful. I almost bought some collectibles that did double over the weekend, but then they're coming back down, so I don't feel so bad. But I want to go long. NFTs that have purpose.
They really do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And teams that expand on those. So that's what we'll do. AI roses.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing those use cases.
Me too.
There's probably no alpha you can give on that, right? Any leaks on what those use cases would be? Is that on the table yet?
Let's reward the people here. Why not? I can say, I hope nobody's recording this, but well, let me just say.
This is definitely not going to be recorded after that.
Yeah, pause Minya, pause the recording for 10 seconds. We were joking about adding a delay to my feed for when I accidentally say things, that they could just like mute me for 5 seconds and I'll go, John disconnected. But the dossier, this is something I've hinted towards. This is something that's really, it hit home with me. Talking about the gemology background and the gemstones, this is something that I think is really valuable for the long-term longevity of these NFTs. Being able to write who owned them at certain points, or name them, or do certain things that give a lineage, a dossier to this NFT. And the reason that this came up is like, Dawn Song has one of these NFTs. That's a very special one that she will promote. She's going to get clothing with it on it. Like, the swag store is coming out soon, community. I hope you know that. I've been working on that for so long. Found the right team. We got the e-commerce store being built. I'm going to work hard to try and get you to be able to buy your NFTs on clothing. And Dawn Song's one of the first people that said I would love that. So she wants to go and teach classes and give stickers of her AI roses to different people and tell them, this is mine, right? And I want people to be able to do that with pride. And when they do, unfortunately, put themselves in a position where they need to sell them, whatever life decision you make, financial choices are your own. I always say that, do what you got to do. If you do end up selling your AI rose, it could become more valuable depending on who owns it. Much like jewelry, if it goes to a duke or a queen or some individual of a celebrity, for example, like we're having this all over the NFT marketplace. Steph Curry and all these celebs are getting into NFTs. To have a dossier that says that someone of importance at one point owned your NFT, that says something, and it could really add value. Now, obviously, we got to be careful with people faking it, but we've got some things coming out soon that are going to help us peg that down. But that's one thing on the horizon that we're working on is modifying the smart contract to add this feature, and it's a really cool feature that I think is going to be really valuable.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, yeah, pushing the envelope, right? It was just an idea. Like Nick and I, we get together and we have these brainstorms. Nick Hines, one of our developers at Oasis Labs, genius, Dr. Hines, love that guy. We sit around and brainstorm sometimes, and the stuff I throw at the wall, it's amazing what he actually takes and scrapes off and says, "Yeah, I can do that in a few hours." It's like, what? I love that guy. He's just incredible. And when it comes up in team meetings and everyone's like, "Is that possible? Can we do that?" And he'll just unmute his mic and be like, "Yeah, I can do that this weekend." Like, are you sure you have so much work to do? Are you going to be able to fit that in? Yeah, 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 yeah. He's like so calm, so collected, so casual, and just such a genius. But obviously, we've got to integrate with another project, and we've got to help them figure out the long-term effects of this and work out all the holes. It's like our ambassador program. You can't release a new bounty without really understanding what could go wrong with it. So, plug for the ambassador program, accidentally. For those in our audience, 114 now and climbing. Check out our ambassador program. This is like our most supportive, friendly environment. We have such professional, encouraging individuals in that group. Many of them are in here right now. They have access to firsthand knowledge. They have, they get opportunities to assist new projects with launches. We've got some really fun stuff. I was able to get them into a few upcoming things. There's a competition going on right now that I'm so proud to have brought to them. I convinced CryptoPunks to punk 3 of our ambassadors. And so they're going to have an internal competition, and 3 of them are going to get minted into real NFTs, their own custom faces on an NFT.
That's awesome stuff. That's awesome
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm like grinning ear to ear right now just because I love our ambassador team, and they provide such a healthy environment and support and encouragement for all our team members and our efforts. There, there are, let's say, there are embers or the core of our fire in our community, and we appreciate them so much. I appreciate them so much. So I encourage each of you to check that out. We can get into some script stuff now, and yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I'm
get to
seeing
some.
many questions.
Yeah, where? Where? What? Where are you seeing this?
I think we have a document on this. Let me send it to you. It's
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, let me pull that up. All right, let's do this. Oh, I was supposed to mark. It's always nice when you're reading the document. It's like before the AMA. You're like in the AMA. Like, oh, I should read that. And there's no time for me to like fake type right now.
yeah, this is
Just
all
be
live.
genuine. Yeah, I'll just be genuine and open. Let's see.
I see number 1.
Yeah, you take that one.
Okay, let's get it started. Nissan Sala 1 posted a question about so what was the difference between the Oasis Network's Paratime and the Polkadot Network's Parachain? So this answer is so essentially, unlike a parachain, a paratime does not need to do consensus itself, making them simpler to develop and more integrated into the network as a whole. Paratimes take care of compute and discrepancy detection, and that's used to ensure correctness and integrity of execution, making paratimes more efficient than parachains and other chains that chain designs that rely on sharding. This answer is actually for sure from some of the like our engineers, because there's
Yeah,
clearly somebody
that's
with a
good.
higher IQ than me. But
I was
that's
impressed.
but so the interesting part actually here is that Paradigm doesn't need to do consensus itself. I wasn't even aware
Yeah,
of this. This is
yeah, it's true.
like a huge scalability factor when it comes to development and easiness of it.
Yeah, and that's been the fringe benefit from day one when we split the architecture of the network. And like when we came out in 2018, it was during the scalability wars, and that's what everybody cared
Hmm.
about. They cared about sharding, they cared about transaction throughput, they cared about TPS. That was all the hot buzzwords. But what they didn't really understand is from day one, we've been saying and screaming it like on panels. We used to have Noah Johnson go on these panels and just tear other projects apart. And he would say things to projects like Solana, where he would just say, you guys are replicating the problem. You didn't solve anything. You've made more of the same problem by bundling it into shards. And he would just attack them, saying, like, there's no actual benefit to doing that. You're just creating more, like,
Hmm.
basically replicating, and you need more power to solve the same problems. It's like you're just creating more demand for more of the same solution. And we broke our architecture up and solved governance. Like, not only did we solve, and that is a powerful statement, and that came from our engineers. Like, when they're like, we solve governance and it's not an issue, I just stopped and looked at them and was like, what? Nobody wrote about this. We're not talking about this. But that's because
Yeah,
these are just fringe benefits to our overall code base that promotes so many healthy changes. Cross paradigm communication is another one that's huge, right? Talk about
yeah,
scalability, the
that's gonna
long
be
term
like,
ecosystem.
yeah, the
It's huge.
interoperability. That experience is like, if like Ethereum implements sharding, it's gonna break the interoperability of the entire chain. Because how does a smart contract know
Exactly.
which shard it should like direct their request to? It's not
Yeah,
possible.
that's going to be a mess. But consensus and computation being split from day one is what allowed Dawn to use blockchain for her 20 years of research, having that light bulb moment of like, this is the holy grail that I've been waiting to build. And there's a reason that she committed her career to a blockchain project coming out of a tenure at UC Berkeley, talking to their board to get special exemption to take time off to focus on Oasis. And for those in the community, sure, we haven't done an AMA with Dawn yet, but I've been talking to her every week now. She is getting more and more involved. She's been talking with Ekin. She's been bridging that gap between labs and foundation, making us push even harder. She's been helping us with the ecosystem fund, like that $200 million. A lot of that was, Dawn having conversations with powerful people saying, hey, we're going to open up the doors for more opportunity here. And they just want to get involved because she's incredible. And I wouldn't be surprised if she wins a Turing Award in the future. I tried to get her on the AI Rose categories. Like, you know how we did God and Newton and Bayes? I was like, put Dawn in there. And she was like
Yeah.
so humble. She's like, no. She's like, no, this is not for me. She's like, I can't do it. I was really trying to get her in that, but that's okay. But she's amazing, and yeah, you're right. This is a powerful statement. We do like the BD ambassadors, and I know a lot of our community relate pair chains and pair times, but we allow people to think that until they start scratching deeper off, not just the surface, but getting into it. It's a nice way of getting people to understand somewhat of the way that our architecture works, but when you actually get into it, we are far superior in a lot of ways. And I don't like to throw that term around because I don't like to knock other projects. I really don't. I encourage, like, Polkadot's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with them. And they have their place, just like Solana has their place. Every network, every blockchain, I never tear them down because, we're all trying to push the envelope, like we're trying to push the same momentum into mass adoption. We're trying to help people, and these are real projects. It's not like they're rug pulls. These are real teams, real humans that have real emotions, and I promote them because we were all together at one point back in San Francisco, and we just want them to do well. But there is big differences in the approach that we've taken, and they have their backers and we have ours, and I don't think it's fair for us to discount ourselves or to continue to be extremely humble when we're fighting for our place. When you look at CoinMarketCap, where we are, we're in top 60 now. Like, we've worked really really hard to get up there organically. We don't do bots. We don't have crazy, massive campaigns that lure in particular types of fans or gamers. Or like we've organically grown without having a real product until like 2 weeks ago. It's insane, like 3.5 years of just growing organically with
Mm.
hype and handshakes and reputation and credibility and going to powerful places and making network connections. Like that guy that interviewed you the other day, he talked about our
Hmm.
ecosystem map and he started going through and he had to zoom in and he's like,
Yeah.
whoa, this is really big. It is really big. And we've been really hard at work for years to make it that way for this year, for 2022 to be our year. So props to them. But yeah, for those in our audience, have a look, uh, see some of the differences for those that are developers. By all means, if you have some questions, I'd be happy to help direct you to some people or some documents that you can really enjoy reading. And for the high level individuals out there like myself, um, you know, I think I've said more than enough to get you to have a curiosity on what makes us different.
Man, you're getting me excited already.
I know, I know. I
Yeah.
don't mean to. I get so excited myself. Let me take a community question. What can a
Sounds good.
community do? Yeah, thanks. What can a community do or be a part of to help the Oasis platform flourish as a whole? Is there, for example, a unofficial request list where the team, developers, ambassadors, and others may put informal activities and the community can band together to try to achieve these for them? Thank you, Harsha. Prabhath, that was from Twitter. This is a fantastic question. And I actually really like this because it's like there's a two-part to this. There's the vision that I see for community assisting the different departments. And then there's the community grants incentive program. We got a new grants manager and he started this week. And one of the things that I'll be meeting with him about this week is creating a community program, much like some of our competitors, which I don't want to pump right now. But there's a few other layer ones that have large community budgets for community programs. And up until this point, we never really had this problem. The community was really happy participating in the ways that we provided. But recently, with our growth, we've had some community members come up and say, hey, will you sponsor me? Will you do this? Can I do this with the team? Are you interested in this? And it's like, these are all fantastic community driven ideas that I shouldn't have control over, right? Like, I don't have, for one, the time to help plan these things and make sure that they're going to go well. So I need to create a system where the community can plan these things, propose them to us, we can approve them, and it's a win-win. So that's kind of an informal activities method that I'm planning on providing, is ways for the community to get involved with the ways that they see are beneficial to the network, propose it to us, we approve it, you get a budget for it, and there's deliverables, milestones, and everybody's a winner. So that's one way that I'd like to do that. The ambassador program's another. There's so much that goes on in there. A lot of those guys lead unofficial price channels. They do a lot of stuff to help grow the community. A lot of them are token holders, obviously, and therefore it's in everyone's best interest. So that's really fun. But how the community can help in the future, I'm actually building this out right now. It's the action plan. So when I did my growth plan presentation in December, I got some really nice positive criticism about breaking down the actionable items where the community can actually dig in to help marketing, product, DevOps, business development. Like, how can we actually help? And what action items can these other departments know that we're waiting to help them with? So stay tuned for that. This is going to be somewhat of I want to say a framework of success for the other department leads to understand that community is important. And I think when saying that, I just want to reiterate to the community here, we're in a changing world of tokenized business. And with that comes a seat at the table for community that's never been at the table before. Traditional business, community would fall under marketing or product, and it would be a sub tier of a director or a chief, and you'd have max a head of community. Now, head of community would still answer to the directors, and with the realization that a tokenized business cannot have a subset lead of community answering to divisions that do not understand how a blockchain community operates or functions and don't manage it in real time because it's a subset, this is a problem, and it's changing in blockchain. And therefore, with my growth plan and highlighting this to our team and making this statement, I'm trying to get Oasis's community to be one of the leaders in the industry, to push the envelope on showing tokenized businesses how community can help them succeed. So this is really exciting. Thank you for that question. And the unofficial request list, I mean, keep them coming. You can always ask our moderators, like, or anything against this, and we're going to be having a lot of fun campaigns. We're rolling through each platform this year, and this is an example of that. We wanted to come reward the Discord community because you guys had such amazing growth in the last 2-3 weeks. So much, I'll be honest with you, I have to rewrite what my Q1 Discord goal because we already broke it. So that's amazing. And I didn't think I would have to do that because I was trying to focus on other goals. But it's like, oh, I got to refocus on this one because Discord is definitely an environment, a platform that we want to appreciate. Our developers are considering bringing things over here if we can work out a few problems. But we'll also have the community hub launching as well, and the community garden. It's going to be rebranded, and we're working on that right now. So that's really exciting. But yeah, thanks for that question. I won't spend too much more time on that. I'm eating up a whole AMA.
Awesome. I gotta say, I really appreciate, man. You're taking care of the community, being like almost like a bulldog defending, making sure that there's enough space. Not sure if you hear enough, but that's really cool. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Ekin. I really appreciate
Ekin,
that.
sorry to interrupt you guys. Are you comfortable of taking one live question? One of our server boosters wants to, he raised his hand, so let's take one live question and continue with the script after.
Sounds
Great
good.
idea.
Let's do it.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Server booster perk.
Yeah, we'll invite you to the stage.
All right. So who do we have here? Who's the server booster we're getting the question from?
Al Empire.
Al Empire.
Al Empire.
Yeah.
Okay. Invite is sent. If he joins in there. Thanks, Ekin. I really appreciate that. Honestly, yeah, I really appreciate those kinds of words. It's the community empowers me to do it, and I feel a huge honor representing them and being their leader. And I will continuously fight for our place.
Awesome.
Oh, Alice.
Awesome, man. Okay.
On the stage.
Alice here.
Let's go.
Thanks for taking my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just about obviously the Emerald seems to be a really big success, and judging by the transactions on it. I was just wondering about the failed transactions on the blockchain, and if the team's aware of it, and also sort of what the plans are around sort of gas pricing as well.
So I missed the first part. What kind of transactions I think you were saying?
So there seems to be a lot of failed transactions. Just looking on the blockchain explorer on Emerald.
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. I heard two things about that, and I hope you don't mind I call you Al.
Yeah, that's fine.
Or is it AI?
It's AI, yeah.
AI. Okay. The failed transactions. I heard one thing about that. I heard that because we had no gas, people were trying to circumvent the trade mining by setting their gas, like failing their transactions on purpose so that they would get trade mining. And then that was apparently a loophole that got closed. So like that's one explanation for what was happening there. And then I also think that having no gas set for a short amount of time was also causing people confusion because they didn't think that their transaction would go through based on order. So you could raise your gas limit. That was another aspect of that. But with the actual failing of the transactions, that is something that did come up. And I cannot remember what was it. I'm going to have to find that answer right now because I know that your Nate answered that. It's a good question, though, and I'm not going to leave it. I'm actually going to try and find this answer. And our ambassadors
that's actually a very good question.
Yeah, our ambassadors were dealing with that a lot.
I guess the second part of that was, are there any plans to sort of look at dynamic gas pricing or anything like that?
I'm sure the engineering team is like not unfamiliar with this subject, but that's probably TBD on the whatever the next update is going to be. John, do you have any more recent info on that? As I do
I
not, to be
don't. I
honest.
feel terrible. I wish that I had an answer for this, and I want to ask for some assistance from some of our devs. First
Yeah.
live question, total bomb. I wish I had more for you. I don't.
Should
No,
we?
that's cool. Sounds like it's
Well,
yeah, it's being worked on. But yeah, I'm enjoying
It
using
has been.
I'm enjoying using Emerald. There's a
Definitely.
lot of great stuff in there already. So keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Awesome.
Emerald has been highly anticipated for such a long time, and we knew that the moment that Emerald's gates were open, that there would be some really fun action. DeFi being obviously the big one, but NFTs. I mean, that happened way sooner than I was expecting. I thought there would be a lot more projects porting over, and like for those of you that know how to do this has been something that people say to me all the time. Like, can we just fork Compound? Can we just fork this project? Like, do you know how to code? And I'm like, no, I don't. Like, I know we could be on a beach right now, and I don't know how to do that. And it's it's disappointing to me because it's a land grab right now. And for those of you they're out there, I mean, the teams that I'm meeting with, like, it's the same energy, it's the same excitement. Like, they can't believe that they're going to be one of the first on Oasis. And I know that for those that have been in our community prior to November 18th, 2020, the word "the first" is kind of a sore subject for us because we got in that complex argument with one of our competitors that like to say that they're the first. And like, I don't even want to get into that because I had nothing to do with that. But here we are again with people sniping the first titles. Like, first Yuzu got sniped by Dune Swap, and then AI like Auth3 almost got sniped by a couple other projects with their marketplaces. And like, it's competitive. People are just popping up new projects.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of free markets, to be honest. Imagine the alternative where you wouldn't have the ability to compete and be, challenge for the position of the first. I mean,
Yeah, that's so true. This is fair. It's fair launch. We don't have our own
yeah,
nodes. We don't have our own projects. That's something that I should highlight. We do not have any official team projects that we're building. So all these projects using our name, I just want to stress to the community to be careful because we were kind of put in a position where we had to look at these projects because they were using our name. CryptoPunks, Crypto Apes, there's Pixel Oasis, there's all these projects that are using our name that we did not build. We had nothing to do with these projects prior to them coming out and saying, hey, we're going to do this. Can we access your community? Only at that point did I say, okay, this is now a security situation for the community. I've got to sit down with these guys. And for those of you that were in the Dune Swap Telegram, like, I gave them every opportunity. I went in there, I met Max. You know, they're applying for a grant. Like, we're working with them. But it's not fair to say that they're officially backed by Oasis. It's not fair for any of these teams to say that we're officially working with them. Like, that's really unfair. And like, some of their statements recently have actually insinuated to other projects that we're working on that we were giving them favoritism because they were making these claims. And I just think that's really unfair because, you know, we are trying to work with them to make them as successful as possible and help them in every way. We're trying to review their code if they're willing to give it to us. We're willing to retweet their tweets if they do pass the code review. But to say that we're officially partnered with them, or to say that we're officially working with them or officially advising them, that's not completely fair to us because we're just trying to do the best that we can based on the situation that we kind of are in. And I'm not trying to take it back a step because that would be also unfair to these projects that have put in so much time and effort, and they've done everything that we've asked. So in no way am I saying that, you know, they didn't get the nod and that we're not collaborating with them and assisting them on making things safer. But be careful when you see projects that use our official name and then start making claims that we're working with them because, you know, truthfully, we're decentralized and everybody in our community knows that. Like, we helped Yuzu again, because we were like, okay, this is our first deck. We better send Nick over there to review the code. We better make sure that this isn't a danger for our community. But eventually, we're not going to be able to do this long term. And like everybody knows that. No layer one can help and assist and manage every single DApp or layer 1.5 or layer 2 that gets built on their ecosystem. It's just not feasible, and we don't have the manpower to do that. And sometimes these projects want nothing to do with us, and they'll just mint on their own. Like there's a lot of projects that we had nothing to do with that are already live doing their thing. But it's nice when these teams come to us for collaboration and to get the nod and apply for a grant. But we're starting to get a little bit uncomfortable with teams using our actual name because it sends the wrong message.
Yeah, and I think like a rule of thumb is like if for any kind of collaboration, essentially, like if there isn't a a published audit, security audit on the code base, or if none of our team members have done that, I think that's always correct me if I'm wrong, John, but that's usually like always a no-go. We don't endorse projects that never haven't done the proper security audits.
Yeah, that's number one. And I think with Dune Swap, that was very open. He was like, no, I plan to. Do you have some recommendations? I gave them a recommendation to the number one project that we are working or trust, because some of them went downhill. Like I'm not going to name names because that would be super unprofessional, but there's a few auditing companies that had some breaches, and it really hit their reputation because they made claims like it was impossible. And then it happened. And when you make claims that something's impossible with your audit and then it happens, it makes every other audit you've ever done and future audit that you're going to do become in question. So we put them in line with the team that we felt was right, and they're going to go for it, and that's exactly what we were hoping for. And I was very open with him, saying like we can't give a thumbs up or a green light until that's done, but he's done everything he can to try and make it work. And it's one guy just out there kicking butt. Like he's just Max is great. I really applaud him for what he's doing and his couple helpers that he has with him and his community that he's built. I love crypto warriors like that are willing to just take a stab at something. And so I didn't tear his project down at all. But yeah, that's the case. The audits are super important, and any project that comes to us, I think it's easier with NFT collectibles because like there's less risk. The 721, the A721 contract is like pretty easy to review in terms of the developers taking a look and seeing discrepancies, but at the same time, as we get into more complex projects, it will be more important and mandatory for these things to happen before we have official engagement. But I want to digress a little bit and praise the projects that are coming out this week as well, because they did go through the steps and they did get the green light, and they are minting today, and it's really exciting. And the team's really excited. I'm excited to have my own CryptoPunk, my own Oasis Punk, I should say, and I'm really excited to join their community, make it my profile picture. Like, yeah, it's a really exciting time. So kudos and applause to those individuals. We actually met with CryptoPunks yesterday. Those two guys that we met with, I won't dox their names, fantastic. And what support and encouragement. They're longtime Oasis supporters. And this is, they thanked me for meeting with them and told me how great it was to meet the core team after so long. But I can't tell you how cool it was for me to meet a community member that's been with us from day one, that has an AI rose, that's been with us and proved that he's been with us from day one, to then build a project and ask us to help him consult on it. Like that was such a cool cycle of completion. That I had to thank him for that. Like, nevertheless, meeting a core team member, meeting a community member that turned into his own project on the network that you work with. That was a really cool feeling.
Just to add to that, I think the Oasis Punks mint is pushed for tomorrow because of Binance has some problems with. Yeah. So
Really?
tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, damn. I was looking forward to it. But tomorrow is
me too.
another day.
Yeah, it's
That's
only
okay.
24
It gives me more
hours,
time.
so yeah.
Gives me more time to get ready.
Yeah.
Thanks for that question, AI. I'm sorry that we weren't able to answer it a little bit more clearly. Ronnie, perhaps you can message your Nay or a few of the devs and see if we have an answer for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
get back to that later today.
Thank you. And we'll post it in Discord. Do we have an AMA questions channel? Like I know that I've seen on other Discords they have AMA questions channel, and then sometimes they'll post the AMA recaps or something in a server.
No, we don't have that kind of channel at the moment, but we can do one for sure.
Okay, I just want to have a somewhere where we can post that answer just so that we don't leave it, because it's a good question, and we do have an answer for it. I mean, obviously it's a technical answer, but there will be one.
Yeah, we have 3 more people raising their hand. We can
Ooh, let's take one.
do the live ones, or we can go over the pre-submitted ones, whichever you like.
Well, Comfortable Eye has been waiting for a while.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's see if we can have one that we can hit out of the park. Hey, welcome to the stage.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Hello, welcome.
So here's my question. It's well known that crew members are essential for the development of the ecosystem. So as Oasis Network continues its growth, I was wondering, are you interested in new ads for the team for the oncoming months? If so, which are them? Thank you.
Ooh, that's a tough
Yeah.
one because you're asking me about future projects that may not be announced. Because I am excited for some stuff that's around the corner. We've had some amazing grant applications that are getting through the pipeline, and I'm personally excited for some of the. Man, can I say this? What can I say about this? I am excited. I'm excited for a unique gaming style DeFi project that will incorporate non-fungible tokens in a really cool way. I think that's safe.
That is about 75% of all the NFT projects.
You're right. Okay, that wasn't enough. But
Yeah, but
but it's on Oasis. It's you're right. That was vague.
well, I can also say from the MetaMinds Labs accelerator, we're gonna have about 10 plus projects coming out, and they cover everything essentially. So it's gonna be super exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'm really excited about that. Tough one to answer. That's
Thank
a
you,
tough
guys.
one. Yeah, you're very welcome. And as things, you know what I will say though is that 2022 is like 100% the year of growth, and each department having these pair times be open. Cypher's around the corner too, and if you consider that having 3 pair times open, like that's massive. So talk about the doors being wide open for teams to come build, and it's really exciting.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Did I say 3 pair times? Cypher,
Yeah.
Emerald,
Parcel.
Russell. There we go. Thank you.
Should we just go with the live
What?
questions?
Live questions seem to be crushing it. Let's just look over the script here just to see if there's any that are really important. Well, I can take 4 really quick. DeFi, Metaverse, Web 3.0 is the hottest topic these days. Can you share your opinion about DeFi, Metaverse, Web 3.0, and how the crypto market works as it is now? What is Oasis's approach to DeFi, Metaverse, and Web 3.0? Thank you. I am Leon. So I know that we danced these questions about the Metaverse, but from the community's perspective, this is something that I'm going to get on top of. I'm really excited to say that this month we've got a very special treat for our ambassador town hall. Every month on the last Thursday of every month, we have a special get together called our ambassador town hall. And this is where we test out and pilot new ideas. And one of them that I had for the community that Minya is driving, he's doing amazing, could have been his idea as well. Let's just give it to him. We are going to be pushing the envelope of this metaverse concept of where we should position ourselves for the long term for builders to be attracted into our ecosystem. So right now, you look around at the metaverse landscape and you have all these promises and you have people saying that they're going to build it, but where? And how can they do this with current situations? Like, what are you going to build it on Ethereum and spend $100 every time that you try to do something in the metaverse? Like, every transaction will come into play. You'll have to have centralized systems. It just won't work. So you need a network like ours. And with that vision in mind, we're going to try to be pushing the envelope with some of our meetups, with some of our conferences, with some of these really unique ways where people can tap in through the metaverse into the Oasis. And I say that as an Easter egg because those that have seen Ready Player One understand where I'm going with this. So that's my take on the metaverse. DeFi, we're going to blow it open. Like, Emerald's just the beginning. Emerald's us participating in DeFi. Cypher, that will be us evolving DeFi. And Web 3.0, this, we're just scratching the surface with this too. We're Launchpad and with like the new stuff that we're going to be doing with the NFTs, AI Rose, Auth3, on-chain, off-chain, public, private data, like with Parcel. That stuff is also it's an evolution of Web 3, or let's just say Web 3.0 is an evolution. But what we're doing with data tokenization and the NFTs with utilities that can be on our network and with what our team's doing with Parcel, nobody can do what we're doing in Web3 without us. So that's really exciting. Not to get you amped up. I realized I got a little excited So thank you for that question. I am Leong. Let's go to a live question, Ekin.
Yeah. There's just one question in the scripted. Let me take. There's
Yeah.
This is a very good question, and it also shows some of the let's say the misunderstandings usually that have been. So anyways, the question is as follows. Lately, governments are trying to strictly regulate privacy-enhancing cryptocurrencies. Monero is a great example. Are you confident that this type of regulation isn't going to prevent Oasis from becoming mainstream? Asking this considering the privacy features of the Oasis blockchain. Thank you, Steg for knows, I guess Steganos, for that question. And I think just to highlight how we are different from, Zcash, Dash, all the other privacy coins, because it is easy to kind of misunderstand them. Like, why wouldn't Oasis be, being hunted down by the SEC or whatever law agency, is doing it at the moment. So the difference is with the Moneros and Dashes and Zcash is that they don't necessarily have, let's say, a smart contracting layer. They have a transactional consensus layer. And in that consensus layer, they as a core development team, so the Monero Foundation or Zcash Foundation, these teams themselves directly have built in the privacy features into the transaction layer. And that creates a different kind of a use case for the blockchain, because when they do a transaction directly on the consensus layer, it allows to mask the sender, the recipient, and the amount, and do very complex advanced cryptography protocols to hide the origin of the cash or the fund. And this is a different approach. How Oasis is private is that it uses the confidential computing, which is done using the trusted execution environments in the secure enclaves, while each of the network node is processing. And it allows to make a smart contract itself private, or whatever that is, that the use case is. But the core difference is here that Monero as a foundation and as a core team is making the whole currency private, and offering those tool sets that then, lead into very reasonable and legitimate anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing, and so on questions. What Oasis does is that the consensus layer doesn't necessarily support these kind of features. The use case of Oasis as a layer 1 is much broader, and it is true that all sorts of use cases can be built using the confidential compute, but that is not the primary use case of the Oasis blockchain. And this is the very core difference why a law enforcement agency will be zooming in on some of the privacy currencies, and why Oasis is not in the same list, essentially. Thank you for the question, Steganos. That was a very good one.
That's a great explanation, Ekin. That's way better than I usually do. I usually just break it down like we're not a privacy token, we're a privacy platform. I give the Telegram response of like the SEC, and then I'll link that tweet that we made when the SEC was just hammering down on privacy tokens, and everybody was freaking out, saying, "Oh, Oasis, like what's going on?" And we just held our head up high and said, "That's not us. We don't have a privacy token. We're a privacy platform. We enable fair, regulatory, accessible information done in fair, private ways." Like that's the beauty of Parcel. That's the beauty of our architecture, is that governments look at our network and they see a real solution. Citizens and governments can harmoniously exist using the Oasis network in a revolutionary way with data. It's not transferred, it's not stolen, it's not like it's used in private ways where they can create data sets and queries on particular subsets of data pools that are never exposed. Users never lose their data. So it's not a scrape, it's not a collection, it's just honest use of something that they need to see, that a user shouldn't feel like they have to hide, because there's nothing wrong with showing that data in a country that they chose to live in, that's being upfront with how they're using it. So I mean, I think it's the future, to be honest. It is the future, and we're going to need this. We're going to need it with voting systems. We're going to need it with financial systems. We're going to need it with everything, logistics systems. It's all about fairness, and I think that, you know, when you talk to people about current e-commerce and capitalism and the way that our ecosystems are structured now, there's so many countries around the world that have just done it so poorly. They're taking advantage of their people, and they need change like this. So the privacy token versus privacy platform, this is why that Oasis is different than all these other privacy projects, because we did not focus on doing something that many people would consider something that they find attractive, because it gives them something their government took from them: anonymity, the ability to hide their money, the ability to get their money out of their country. Like all these things, they have a place. And I never tear down these other privacy projects for that. They're providing something to people that need it. And there's also a certain group of individuals on the darknet that use that for bad purposes, and that's unfortunate. There's always somebody that's going to do something that's meant to help people or meant to be a positive thing in a negative way. They do it with cash as well. It's no different. But what we've done is try and take the high road where we're supplying the solution. If someone wants to build a privacy token on Oasis, they can. It wouldn't be a team funded project. It wouldn't get a grant. It would, well, maybe it would get a grant, but it wouldn't it wouldn't be like, oh, Oasis built a privacy token, because then we would be subject to the exact same scrutiny that everybody else is in. But we actually have built a solution platform where if someone wants to build a privacy token with the right regulatory abilities built into it that still protects their users but allows for Parcel to run data queries on it, like this is something that would be very, very, very sought out after in a lot of areas where they're having trouble losing, you know, favor with their own currency versus, you know, Dash or some of these other places in some really poor countries that are struggling with their local currencies. This is something that could provide a solution. So just to push the idea forward that, you know, maybe there's some builders out there that want to build a privacy token in a fair regulatory way, and we would provide the platform for you to do that.
Sounds good. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Add a layer of whatever you want to call it, because those washers and anonymity, like I don't even remember what they called them,
Like mixers?
scramblers. Yeah,
Yeah.
the mixers and like all the transaction washing and stuff. Like I get it. Back when they started that, it was really important. People were freaking out. Like, what do you mean you can all of my money. They're moving like 100, 200 million dollars around like it's nothing, thinking that FinTrack's never going to find out, only to know a little later on that like, uh-oh, I'm figuring it out and I'm going to have to make some changes. But I think many of us today, we're not in that same situation. I mean, like there's only so many whales out there that have to watch themselves, and like many of us were part of the Trezor or Ledger situation, so there's already a level of feeling exposed. But we'll get there. I think there's a place for having privacy. And as you spoke in your interview the other day on YouTube, it's important that people recognize that, you know, not everybody wants to have their wallets exposed. Like walking around with a bank statement on your back is not everybody's desire. Like even friends and family, when you find out how much people make, and it's like there's just a level of judgment that comes with exposing that level of information, and people don't always appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should we take a live question?
Note. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we have 6 people waiting for.
All right.
Yeah, let's go.
Eric, thanks for
So
waiting.
we can power through these, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You have another meeting? Oh, we do.
Yeah, nothing that serious though.
It's just a 29 person all hands meeting.
Here, go ahead, please.
Hey Derek, how's it going? You muted. There you go. Derek, are you available?
Seems like is Dirk trying to reconnect? Am I
I think
reading
he was
the?
having some headphone issues because I saw his mic go off and then I saw his headphone thing disappear. He's probably trying to get his mic
Yeah,
going.
let's invite the next one.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
And
yeah,
we'll
boy.
get back to Dirk in a second.
Sounds good.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for
Hey.
joining us.
Yeah, I just have a really quick question. When's the next hackathon?
Ooh, great question. I don't have a date for you, but I can tell you that we got a new marketing manager and he's all over it. I'm supposed to meet with him today about community involvement and rewards breakdown. And then tomorrow we've got another hour. So like last week we spent an hour doing hackathon planning. I think we have like 3 or 4 hackathons that we're planning this year. I'm only planning one, and mine will be in Q4. And I'm really focusing on the universities. I really want to do a global university hackathon that's all about
Cool.
fun, gaming, engagement. Like we've got the largest university program in all of blockchain, and we've never flexed that. And I've always had this idea that all these schools would love to compete against each other, like Stanford, MIT, UC Berkeley, like some of the schools in Asia, some of the schools in Brazil, Germany. Like, why not have a competition with their blockchain clubs? I just thought that would be such a fun idea, and get them to communicate with each other and have a big event afterwards where they all get to see each other on screen. And so that's my idea for the hackathon, but that's coming later. I know marketing has one that is really going to be technical. So I think we're setting up things like, what are some building ideas that we would like to see that we don't have time to do. Like I think that was one of the things that I stressed, is that like when you used to go to hackathons pre-COVID, there was opportunities to get your project funded. There was opportunities for you to build something that the team would, buy after, or like just ways of gaining access into the ecosystem. And I know that our new marketing manager, Ian, like he reiterated that as like, yes, that is what I also want to do. And so we're meeting tomorrow. I'll have some more dates for you, but we've got some planned this year. And so stay tuned, because I know that they want to launch one soon. If we're going to do 3 or 4 this year, we got to get started. So yeah, thanks for that question. Let me ask Ian if I can give a date right now. And
That would be nice, yeah. And just wondering if some of those hackathons will be focused on like Cypher more than Emerald.
yes, when Cypher launches, I will advocate for that, because they're two totally different worlds, right? Like one's WASM, one has privacy. It like you could take an Emerald project and give it steroids and bring it over to Cypher and add all these features that never were possible on Emerald. So I totally agree with you that Cypher should have its own hackathon, and that we should really emphasize like highlighting what makes Cypher unique and building features that only Cypher can offer. And that would just create mad rush in terms of community coming over and wanting to participate.
Yeah, cool. I'd
Thank you
like
so
to.
much.
Yeah, I'll be waiting for that date. Don't keep it a secret anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem. I just asked Ian right now, and so if because he was actually talking to me about hackathons right now. That's awesome.
Hi. Am I audible this
Hey,
time?
how's it going?
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
we
we can hear you.
Great. I had some issues with my microphone. So, yeah, thanks. I'm a big fan. And I was wondering whether there's going to be some transparency on how you're going to spend this 200 million of grants. And then perhaps if there's also going to be some way to know whether these projects are audited or not.
Yeah, that's a great question. So essentially, just to be clear, the grants program and the ecosystem fund are different. So the ecosystem fund itself is managed by all the fund participants who decide if they join or not, and those are usually structured as investments towards promising companies in the space, who are looking to build on top of the Oasis network. Grants program is something that's slightly different, and that's allocated for supporting early projects that just need a injection of Rose tokens for whatever reason that they do. But both of those can be applied in the website. So in the oasisprotocol.com, it's possible to apply for the ecosystem fund, and that's recommended for companies that have a solid team, are almost ready with their solution, or it's out already. They're looking at getting the first traction, and they want to really scale up. That's where the fund participants come in. They have a network of not only capital but other resources, such as getting access to influencers and news and marketing and whatnot, that really is needed to kind of let's say explode the growth of each of the kind of investments. And then the other part is the grants program is also available in the website, so and that can be applied, and that's a very let's say open application. So if you're a single developer, you want to contribute something to the ecosystem, there's a good tool, there's a good smart contract, good application that you think would benefit everybody. That's what the grants program is. Also, if you're a team that's looking to deploy the MVP on the network, needs some support when it comes to marketing, wants to get in front of the community, requires some financial contribution to make it really work, and to have the resources to put the application on the mainnet. That's what the grants program is for as well. And so just to highlight one more thing, the acceleration programs offer the participants the grants as well. So there's a grant component to it, much like the grants program, but that is meant for teams that really want more support. So if you're part of a team that requires can deploy the application, but requires support, let's say on legal or marketing, wants to have office hours with investors to help, let's say, refine the business model so that it's attractive and makes sense, that's where the acceleration programs come in. So we just closed the MetaMind Labs acceleration program, but we have another one with DAppRadar coming in very soon. So you can stay tuned for that. And that the DAppRadar applications are going to be open early February. So the first week of February, they're going to be open. So yeah, hope that answers the question, Dirk. And maybe Joan, you had something as well there.
I would just say to the last part about your question about transparency and promotion, each of those programs are definitely we're trying to have success with the applicants, and therefore upon successful approval, I mean, there will be a marketing push around this, there will be blog posts around this, the ecosystem for sure. I mean, those are, even like Ekin said, they're different applicants. One is grants where it's like, hey, like for example, Dune Swap and a few of these other projects that for the most part have done all the heavy lifting, and they just need a little bit of a boost, and they just want community involvement and team approval and team support, maybe tap into the community. But these ecosystem applicants, like that's real deal VC startups that they will definitely get access to mentors and all the different types of things, and with that comes promotion of the development of what they're doing into success. So we would never hide what's going on there, just because the nature of what we're trying to do there and needs to be transparent for the community to be able to support it. So thank you for your question, Dirk. Fantastic. And boy, I got an answer about, if you don't mind me saying that, because it reminds me of that frog on the unicycle. Ian told me that there's no date to announce, but generally we're planning it for the end of February, depending on the platform and their availability. So we're vetting a couple platforms right now that we used in the past, as well, that are reputably very successful, and we're figuring out which platform we're going to use. But it looks like we're going to have one in Q1. So get your fingers ready.
Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Yeah. Thanks, Dirk. Let's go to let's burn through some of these. Jackie Monster. I'll say hi to a few of our new our ambassadors in here too. I see Jack's in here, and oh, we just lost another one that was a server booster that I was going to say hi to. There you go. That's okay. I just missed him. Diego's here too.
Hello.
Feedback. Hey, how's
Hello,
it going?
Jackie.
Hey, we can hear you.
Oh, cool. So I have a question. So, how experienced and promising is your team? I have seen many projects give promise for high impression, but at first, but later they abandon falling to give research and make excuses. Please. Excuse me.
Yeah.
So sorry, Jackie. I missed the last part of your question. I heard up until the point where you're saying that, yeah, a lot of layer ones fall into recession and then make excuses. I didn't hear the second part. Am I repeating it?
Will you repeat it? Right.
Yeah, Jackie, could you repeat the question, please? I think there was an issue with the audio.
Okay. My question is, so how good experience and promising is your team? Because I have many projects give promise for high impression. At first, but later they abandon falling to give research and make excuse.
Okay. I think I understand your question. I apologize. I obviously recognize that English is a barrier here, and I appreciate you even trying. So thank you very much, because I know that we've been expanding to our Spanish community is blowing up, and so therefore I appreciate you trying to read this question in English for us. So what I'm hearing is that a lot of projects that have really impressive teams, they start losing members, they fall into recession. Like, what's different about Oasis? Is that kind of what I'm hearing, Jackie?
Yeah.
All right, excellent. So we did have early in the beginning, there were multiple founders. Don Song was the main founder, and several of these individuals were PhD students and people that she had worked with in the past through different exits that I should say that they successfully sold incredible businesses to very powerful companies. But Dawn has never wavered. She's always stayed, and she's always been the leader of Oasis Labs. As we hived off into the Oasis Protocol Foundation, we made ourselves even stronger. I moved over from Labs. We got Ekin involved. We got Yernay, Tade, all the top developers. We poached over to OPF, minus the ones that are still at Labs. I shouldn't say that because Nick, Ruben, Peter Gilbert, incredible team that has stuck with us since day one. So the impressive players that are still on Oasis Labs team, we've been here since day one, and we're not going anywhere. This is a passion project for a lot of people that work in the organization. It's not just a stepping stone. Many of our team that we did lose over the last 3.5 years, I think. And for one, our old COO, she's now doing special projects with OpenSea. We had Andrew Miller get a promotion to an amazing company that's not in blockchain. We had Luca get promoted to a GM of a new bank that had a crypto division starting up. Like, these are huge promotions. And so I would never say that anybody has ever left our team to go to another project because they weren't happy or they just wanted a lateral movement. If anything, the only reason that we've ever lost a team member is because they got a massive promotion that they couldn't say no to. The rest of us, we have absolute conviction with our work and what we're trying to achieve as a team. We work cohesively, we support one another, and it's a great place and a great environment that has attracted a lot of new members over the last several months. If you look at the Oasis Protocol Foundation alone, my team on the community side has blown up from just me in October, having 9 people that manage and work alongside me as a powerful unit. And that's not including the 3 community managers that are out for hire right now: Spanish, Russian, and the country of India. All the languages, please apply. Bilingual is a must. I need you to be able to speak with me in English. But that's not including the 8 other community managers that I have on the horizon for this year. And I'm in discussion of bringing 3 more moderators on because we need the help. So if anything, our team is exploding. And that's not even just, that's just community. Then you look at marketing. They got a new statistics analysis manager. They got a new marketing manager. They got a social media, like, they're blowing up as well. And BD is poised to do the same thing. So when you actually look at the conviction of our team, nobody is wavered, nobody's backing down. And if anything, the impressiveness of our work continues to exceed even our own expectations.
So cool.
Thanks, Jackie.
Oh.
Thanks.
So
Thank you so much.
Michelle, for the answer. Thank you so much. I'm
You're
glad
very
to
welcome.
hear that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. All
Are
right,
we ready for the next?
let's go.
Juan,
Hi guys,
come
how
on
are you?
down. Good. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. First, I want you to know that you have. I'm from Colombia, and here in the group with a friend of mine, we are 2 believers that recently joined this project, and we're here to stay. I actually have 2 questions. You were talking about this is a privacy token that could help the government to solve some issues. Really, the question is like, what problems do you see solving in the near future? And if you know, if I have some friends that doesn't know about the project, what could you tell to them to join the community? What
Great
advices?
question.
Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Juan. I really appreciate that. Well, I'll start with the community outreach thing, and then we'll circle back to the first part about the government involvement. On the community side, one of the things that we really pride ourselves in our community is our professionalism and our reputation. We are one of the only, in my opinion, communities that really, really protect what our identity is from day one. We don't allow bad actors in. We don't allow trolls. We don't allow profanity. We don't allow bullying and harassment. It is a safe, encouraging environment where people can come learn, where they can ask questions, be directed, join our ambassador program. I mean, we'd love to have you join our ambassador program. It sounds like you're a good fit, even just with the inquisitive questions and your comments about supporting us. Like, thank you so much. We really appreciate what you're doing and how you're supporting us and encouraging us. But to get new people, that's one of my goals. I really want Oasis to be the project that we can tell our friends and family about and attract new blockchain enthusiasts, not just fight for the same people that have been in the space since early 20, like 2016, 15. We're all competing for the same community. If we don't properly protect our identity and know who we're going after. And one of the things that I was really adamant about is protecting and being able to provide a protective area, which you could bring your grandma, your aunts and uncles, your nephews, your nieces and nephews. Like, there's so many other projects over the years where you'd go into their Telegram group or you go in their Discord group and the trolls would just take over and you wouldn't even feel comfortable asking a question or even being in there, because the messages, like, you just get added to another list and then all the scammers are coming after you, and it's just so off-putting that it gives such a bad taste in your mouth about what blockchain is and about what crypto is. I really want the Oasis Network community to be different, to hold their heads high, to be reputable, to be inviting, and to give a stepping stone for not just people to get jobs in crypto, because that's one of the things about the ambassador program that I'm really proud of, is that it's an on-ramp into crypto. If you want it, there's ways of you gaining experience and earning a resume that's worthy of getting hired. But I want our community to be an on-ramp for mass adoption. So I want people to know that when you show them videos about us, we're not going to be tearing other projects down and swearing and joking about, people that are not as privileged. It's like, this is totally not what we try and condone. If anything, we want to be the opposite. We want people to come into our community and feel at home, feel safe, and actually feel like they want to come back because they actually enjoyed the experience, much like we're enjoying this right now. We're 24 minutes over. I'm loving this. I don't even care about my other meeting. This is organic, genuine connection where people can ask inquisitive questions and feel like they're heard. And I think that's really missing for mass adoption. And so, community outreach is my number one. And if I can help you tell some of your friends and family, get some of your local universities involved, get some traditional businesses to start looking at this, because one of the things that makes us different is that Parcel is perfect enterprise. It allows traditional businesses to look at using blockchain without feeling like they're using blockchain. They can use Oasis Labs to mediate and build a system where on the back end it uses blockchain, but on the front end, their users hardly know that it's happening. And it's a very powerful bridge into traditional businesses realizing that they're missing out on the evolution of data being the new oil. It's the most valuable commodity. And if they can get themselves to operate in a fair, safe, functioning way where the user has benefit, they can leapfrog their entire industry to become trailblazers and really position themselves as one of the leaders. Now, with government, you want to help me with that one, Ekin? That one is more of the privacy platform angle, not the privacy token. And I guess I can continue.
Yeah, for sure. I think there was perhaps some, let's say, misunderstanding. So we are definitely not a privacy token. And so when it comes to the platform, I think Parcel is a great example for this. So what the technology stack that we've built allows to do is to essentially, like, if you think in terms of, this is an example, like, so what is really like private and confidential data? So public data is like you go in a room and there's a bunch of people there and you talk to them. And you speak with normal voice, everybody can hear it. That is a public kind of information that you just speak in the room. And that's like what blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum do. And then there's the private data. So private data is like taking a piece of paper. You write a message in like encrypted alphabet that only your friend knows, and you pass the note to, in your, let's say, a school class. you pass it to your friend and it goes through multiple hands, but nobody else knows really what is there except for the friend. And it's private until the point that the right person reads it and it becomes, confidential. So then you've allowed the other person to have access to that information. So essentially what we do is offer a framework to build applications that can be public, but can also have a confidentiality point. So as a much more concrete example, like let's say take what Nebula Genomics did with genetic sequence data. So essentially what they did was they allowed users to access a portal where they can. So first of all, what they did is they take a saliva swab of the mouth, send it to the Nebula Genomics company. The company sequences the genetic sequence of the person who does the swab and stores it into the database using Parcel. And Parcel essentially then allows the user to access a portal where they see that, okay, this is my genetic sequence data, and I can offer access of this data to anybody who I want to give it to, but also can block access to anybody from accessing that. So
it's kind of an NFT.
Technically, yeah. So NFT as a concept, right, is as a non-fungible token. It means that it's not like fungible like normal tokens are. So one Bitcoin is equivalent to the other Bitcoin of any of the Bitcoins in the world. But it means that there's a bunch of like unique data stored in that token. So in that way, it's an NFT that contains information of how to access the genetic sequence data, and also offers the ability to, let's say, rent that token to a different account, or allow another account to run let's say, a specific computation on that genetic sequence. So yeah, in a way, it combines access control to the information, and it combines the information itself, through the access control layer. So yeah, in a way, it's an NFT, but it's just pure data. Does that make it like clear in terms of how we would be different from, like, let's say, a privacy token like Monero or Zcash or those?
Well, thank you, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome, Juan. Great answer, Ekin. I love
Good
that we're
stuff.
dancing into data token NFTs, because you're right. The concept of what an NFT is to the general public, like a non-fungible token, and you got all those memes trying to explain it to your girlfriend, and like you're talking to your therapist, and the therapist is like, "Is your NFT in the room right now?" Like there's all these memes about it, and it's a joke. But the reality of what an NFT can be, and that white paper that we wrote about data tokenization 3.0, NFTs are not going to be just fun memes, gifts, photos, collectibles. NFTs are going to change the way that we use data. And it's because of the smart contract abilities for you to write particular, I guess, boundaries or subsets or whatever you want to call them within the contract. I mean, that's the revolution that's going to happen. And sure, you can put a profile image on the front, but it's going to be the back end. It's going to be what's inside that vault. And I always refer to it as a vault. It's a data vault that's transferred, and the keys are where the magic happens. So, I mean, it's going to revolutionize the way that we even understand NFTs, and it's going to take a bit for people to really wrap their head around the evolution of an NFT, because we've been spoon-fed kind of the fun side of it, and that's fine. I mean, gaming and a lot of other industry that's fun pushes a lot of industry forward before it really gets into the nitty-gritty business, and that's fine. We'll get some volume, we'll get ecosystems built, and then we'll be able to push the space forward.
Good stuff.
So Ekin and John, we're gonna do a giveaway. So I would
Yes.
ask you to pick number between 1 and 118, both of you.
88.
Oh.
88 and Ekin.
Okay, 27.
27.
Okay, let me do some.
Did you just randomly pick that? Is there a hockey player or somebody that's 27?
That's a good
87 is
question.
so random.
I honestly, I believe none of the decisions are really like random. So this is somewhere from the depths of your brain or my brain.
88 is Eric Lindros, and he's an animal. So, yeah, I love that guy.
Nice, nice. Okay,
We
actually,
have our
how?
2 winners. We
Yeah,
need
how is this?
more numbers.
Oh,
Are
it
we
was
giving away
yeah,
more than?
okay.
Yeah, we're picking the numbers for the RNG.
Yeah, is this like a number that
So,
seems
congrats to Dirk, who was on the
Nice,
stage before. Yeah, Dirk won.
nice.
And then, I don't know how to pronounce this, Xyloip.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
Both of you get
Well
$50.
done, guys.
Please
Congrats.
DM me.
Yes, please DM Ronnie. Hello to Sergo as well in here. I didn't say hi to Sergo. Diana's here. There she is. Morton, how's it going? Do we take another question?
I think it
Are we
sounds like
wrapping
that
up?
was a wrap up. At least
Okay.
for me, at least I'm gonna have to get running.
Yeah, you're right. We've got some meetings. This has been really fun. Zespro, I'll take these 2 really quick. Let's see if I can hammer out these quick. Zespiral and Elinkar. And then I see that decentralized CEO came and gone a couple times. I'll try to get these done really quick. Zespiral, are you there? There we go. What's up, man?
Yeah,
Nice.
hello. Hey.
Nice.
Wow,
Thank you,
this is really cool. It's an honor to be here. Super
you so
honored
much.
actually. Thank you. So in the man, it's just like everything flew out of my head as soon as I got on here. Like, I can't believe I'm on here with you guys. In the Paul Barron interview, great interview by the way. All of y'all's interviews are amazing. And I learn something all the time. It was mentioned that y'all plan to grow in a holistic manner. However, there was going to be a focus on DeFi at the first half of this year, and then hopefully NFT and metaverse type projects in the second half of the year. What I'm curious about is like, what do y'all see after that? Like, I don't know. I just feel like y'all are so like innovative and have such a like awesome future going on, and I feel like that is like that kind of dwarfs like whole like everything that y'all have planned out. And I'm just wondering what are some of the things we can see in the long run, because I know this is a long term project. You know, like 2022 is probably nothing compared to everything y'all have in mind in like by 2030. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, diving in, I mean, TVL, we wanted to get to 500 million like in Q1, and that's a huge ask. It's a huge goal, and we reached 200 million before taking a dip, and that's totally understandable. We need to supply more options, but we were very surprised at the success that Yuzu had, and with more dexes coming, it's only a matter of time before we reach that goal. So diving into NFTs, that's even more surprising that these NFTs blew up like first week or first 2 weeks of the month. As soon as Emerald's open, it's like boom, NFT collection. So I mean, I think really where we're going to push the space through my conversations with Dawn, she's such a high profile mind that these teams, they just want to bounce ideas off her. And for those that took the DeFi MOOC, they made an NFT for completing that course. And it just shows that Dawn actually really likes NFTs, and what she's planning on doing with NFTs might break people's brains because she's a data scientist. Like, she's a computer scientist within differential privacy and AI. She's the world's foremost lead. So teams are rushing to her for advice on how do I do this? Is this possible? And they're doing these cutting edge things that are really exciting. So next, I'm gonna Easter egg this. We've got Bitmark being highlighted very soon in our blog, and I've alluded to Bitmark before. This is a company that's using Parcel to build digital estate planning. like we're pushing the envelope with more enterprises. We also have Meta this quarter that's going to be doing a lot of big things. So you can see some enterprises that are now, because of our success and the paradigms being open, these enterprises are now going to come out and say, look at us, and we're working with Oasis. So TVL, NFTs, and then around the corner, you're going to have some really exciting things with enterprise businesses that are actually like, this will help us with mass adoption, because if you think about, telling your parents about this, it's so hard to get their, like, even one of my best friends, I'm talking to him about NFTs yesterday, and he's just like, you're an idiot. Like, he's just like, doesn't get what is happening, because he lives in the real world where he goes to work every day, and the type of money that gets thrown around in these NFT marketplaces, to him, it's just like, this makes me feel like crap. Like, I just don't understand how you guys are doing this with, a year's worth of salary that people go and put their everyday life into. So breaking beyond that and having actual enterprise businesses that we can then tell our friends about, like, hey, this is a proper use case for something that clicks in their mind, and the bridge between what we're doing and what wasn't possible before is going to create a lot of curiosity. And I think it's going to bring more builders, and I think it's just going to be a snowball that just starts getting bigger and bigger with more and more attention. So expect that around the corner. I think I can sneak that out into this AMAs, that you can expect some really cool blog posts about some really cutting edge advancements that we're pushing spaces forward in. And estate planning, like, who would have thought that? Like, family of estate lawyers that decided to get ahead of where the industry was going and build the first digital estate planning company using Parcel. Really cool. Yeah, thanks, Steve Spiral. I really appreciate that. Welcome to the stage too. You did a great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alan Carr, I'll just burn through this. I know you got to go. My apologies. Alan Carr, come on down. And then we got one more after that. Just finish up these two. Oh, he says he's busy. Yeah, we can do decentralized CEO. I'll invite you both. We'll just do one at a time, and then we'll wrap up. And I really appreciate everybody being here today. It's been really great. Welcome.
Yeah, I really do appreciate even getting on here. I could second to what that gentleman just said about getting nervous because you're getting a chance to speak. I'm actually going deeply inside Oasis network rabbit hole, and I'm very optimistic about the project and the excuse me, about the project. A quick question that I do have is that I'm a part of a team that is actually looking to build a token that is backed by a proprietary project, which is basically moving towards like the metaverse, where people in rural areas and like third world countries can access the internet at a faster and cheaper rate. And the question I had is that if we were to build a token on this Oasis network, what kind of direction are you guys going with your wallet? Because what I've noticed is that when I actually, it's only like a Oasis network wallet that is available right now, and it's hard to how am I going to say this? I'm sorry, I'm kind of drawing a blank.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to actually get other networks in there to make it easily accessible for like an end user, like somebody that's not intermediate or expert in crypto, that's wanting to build or give liquidity to the token or to the project that we have. My main question is, what's the direction that you guys are going toward as far as your wallet, basically?
That's a great question. I know that we have a complete channel dedicated to the wallet itself. I know that the Explorer has come up recently a lot because there's like a delay with Oasis Scan and a few things like that. So the team's looking at how to solve these issues. I know it's constantly being improved. If there is some pain points that you're experiencing, if you want to put them in a doc, and share that with me, I'll take it direct to the devs and I'll have them work on it with me and have them understand like this is coming from the community. Because if you're having this problem, imagine how many other people are having this problem. And I always say that, like, there's no stupid questions. If one person is asking something, then there's how many people thinking it. You're just the first person to actually say something and come on stage with the bravery and the courage to do it. So if you want to put a doc together, we got Ronnie, Minya, myself, anyone on the community team will hear it. Put it in a Google Doc if you don't mind, so it's a little bit safer. And then yeah, we can just get to the bottom of it. Even if you want to work with Ronnie and Minya on Discord, they'll take your questions, compile a doc, we'll share it with you, and we'll get the devs involved and we'll try to sort this out. Because yeah, I really appreciate all community feedback. We're trying to create better avenues for community to be able to tell us issues. We're going to be launching the community garden, and we were actually discussing that last night and this morning on how we can better capture user experience complaints, that come through Slack, that come through Discord, that come through Telegram. We really want a centralized place where we can hear you guys and work on this stuff with you guys, because we want you to build. We want you to have as little resistance and friction as possible. And so we really appreciate your feedback. It's valuable. So thank you. And we'll work on that together.
I would like to add to this that we already have a doc going on and we're compiling like community problems to it, like wallet issues and so on. So you can like directly DM me or Minya or one of our moderators, Messias Morten.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and when you're ready,
we have a straight line with
grant,
the devs, so please just DM us.
Yeah, and well,
when you're
I
ready,
really go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Let me wow you a little bit more. Like when you're ready, you come and you can do a presentation, you can apply for a grant. Like we really want to encourage. I did say earlier, like how, these projects were coming to us and asking for assistance. Like we have an open door policy with this. Like we're not going to turn projects away and be like, oh, we're too big to assist community projects. Like that's completely not the way that we're going to go about this. Community projects, to me, as a community lead, they are so important because they're actually what the community wants to build. So we should encourage that and we should provide assistance on that. So anything that you need, just let us know. Be transparent, and if you could share the code, GitHub, all that stuff, it would help our devs a lot.
Yeah, I really do appreciate it. You guys made it a lot like really comfortable. I was a little bit nervous just a second ago, but I appreciate the support and help, and I will definitely get back in contact with you about that.
Awesome.
And
Really
I'll put
appreciate what you're
everything.
doing.
Yeah, thank you.
It sounds like your project's for the people. It's a humanitarian project, and that excites me even more because people that are trying to solve issues around the world, I mean, that's where the real work is.
And
I really appreciate that. So
that's exactly what we're thinking about when we're doing it. It's a cause related project, and even the marketing behind it is going to be cause related, but we're basically in the infant stage and trying to make sure that we're crossing all our T's and dotting our I's and picking the right partners to partner with. And I'm really optimistic about the Oasis Network. I seriously am. So,
thank you so much. Really appreciate your support and encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Alan Carr didn't make it. We got one more. I'll take one more. I'll add Adom, 89, and then we'll wrap up. This has been really fun, and I hope that everybody's got a lot of good information out of this.
And if the community likes this, like AMA's Discord, the Discord stage, and we're gonna host more of these, just let us know.
Yeah, this has been really nice. It's been really nice actually not having to type.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it. I like it. Adam, do you want to come on down? He's got a lot of roles. I like that. Crypto enthusiast, hackathonian, NFT lover, staker, investor.
Yeah.
We'll give him a few more seconds. Then no worries.
Okay, maybe they are not online.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. Ronnie, Minya, thank you for setting this up. Diana, thank you very much as well. Ekin, thank you for joining me. I know that it's way beyond what we scheduled, so thank you for actually dedicating 2 hours of your time instead of 1 hour.
Wonderful to be here. This was awesome.
Yeah, we were really excited to just let the community know. We were really excited. Ekin and I talk every day, and we just were really excited to have a voice chat where you guys could actually see the chemistry that we have in our working relationship and how fun it is for us to spend time and answer questions together. This is the type of fun that we have every time we do an AMA, whether it's on text or video. It's always a pleasure. So thank you so much for your camaraderie. Thank you, Minya. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, community, for entertaining us and supporting us and being part of our bros.
Awesome.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks, Minya.
Thanks everyone.
Ronnie.
Thanks, Ekin. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.